and having a good balance in your goals. Yeah, you don't want them too hard, too high. You don't want to stress out. Start slow, small, medium, and just keep going. If you're shooting for the moon the first month, you're not going to get off Earth. Welcome back to some postcards. Tennis, anybody? Today's special topic is on tennis postcards, the sport of tennis. Anything with tennis in the title is what I'm going to go over. I think you'll be kept interested with that one, with the prices and stuff. Also, I have what I sold on eBay overnight, just to show you the variety of cards that go out. And then the poll. Have you ever had a postcard damaged in the mail? Some people think it happens all the time. I got the stats. I polled everyone. And then some viewer comments at the end. As always, you want to stick around for those. Let me go through the cards here. I sold 10 cards overnight. I am up in sales. It says over the last few weeks I've been up a little bit. Not breaking records or anything like that, but it's better than normal than it has been. First card I sold is a NASA card. Apollo 11 moon landing, July 20th, 1969. Bought a lot of these cards at the Brimfield. Paid up on them a little bit. I've gotten 5 times my money back on these already. They don't sell that often, but when they do, they go in bunches or just single ones like that. That sold between $4 and $5. Next card sold for $6.88. Probably had an offer sent out on it. Southern Illinois Airport Terminal Building in Carbondale, Murfreesboro, Illinois. It's an airport card. I have a video coming out soon on airports this year. This next year I'll have it out about airports. A lot of people collect airports. So there's a lot of things about runways and stuff. That sold for $6.88. This card sold for $4 to $5. I always list these cards. A lot of people don't. They're the view cards. They're probably, this view might not even be in Albion, Illinois. It might just be some stock card and they put at the bottom, greetings from, in the town. And that's how they printed them. Very low cost, easy to do. These I always sell. Some I sell for higher money. Depends on the town. But that sold $4 to $5. Sold the ship. USS Springfield. Doesn't have the postcard back on the back, but it was still a postcard to me. But not officially. There was nothing on there. So that's why I do sell it as a postcard. $4 to $5. This is the Hawaii card, Aloha symbol. This is the Aloha. Looks like a dining room thing on there. Just a few card. It's the Hartman Hotel at Portland, Oregon. Oh, it's the Aloha Room. Not a Hawaii. It's a Hawaii card, but it's Aloha Room. Maybe if I read it, I'd get it right. So that's in Portland, Oregon at the Hartman Hotel. The Aloha Room. $4 to $5. Next 2 cards sold for total $9.30. I just listed these yesterday. Divided back card of Vermilion County Courthouse, Danville, Illinois, which is about 2-3 hours south of me, southeast. That one. And that was posted 1910. And then I sold this one. This is divided back. It looks like an undivided back because it's got the writing tabs, but there's the line. Right here. It does have a, I call it attic burn, acid burn on the sides. It has a ripped corner. I did put that in the description. But that's, both of these cards sold for $9.30, and this one posted 1910. Next one sold for $8.65. This is bird's eye view of Bernardsville, New Jersey. These older cards with these town views from a hill and stuff. It's an undivided back card. So that sold for full price of $8.65. Bernardsville. I have no idea where it's at. This is a shipboat, RMS Lacastria. It's I think an British boat, not for sure. Posted 1927, and this sold for $9.55. That's what the comments came out to. Listed this about 6-8 months ago, and that's sold, and that's going over to the United Kingdom. Someone over there bought it. And then want to see you Wednesday at Please. This is one of those message cards. Wednesday. It's not embossed or anything. It's just printed on there. $4 to $5. So a total of 10 cards. Total dollars I got for overnight is $63.69. I'd probably have 50 cents into these cards, and I made $63.69. Average sale price $6.37 for overnight. So my average sale price is going up. I just about made it to 70. I was at 63.69, so 64. I was $6 off, which I'm fine, and I was $4 or 4 cards under my 14-day. I want to do day. I'm still at a little above 13 cards, almost 14 for the year. So I think I'm gonna meet my goal if I keep going on this upward trend here in sales of 14 cards, and my average sale price is up there. So I'm doing well with the goals I did. But that's what sold. Tennis. I got into a little sports clique here. I wanted to do I started seeing some postcards of sports, Olympics, baseball, different things like that. So I picked out some sports to do, and one of them was tennis. Tennis is that furry little ball they bounce back and forth across the net. That's how I think of it. I lived across the street from a tennis court for years, and we'd go over and play, and they had a big wooden plywood board that we'd hit on and stuff like that, but never got into playing the sport in school or anything like that competitively. Don't know a lot about it. I probably forgot more than I ever learned. But I'm going to go ahead and set the foundation for tennis with some paragraphs here that I got and a couple facts, and then I'm going to show you some postcards that are for sale for tennis. Then we're going to go through the sell-through rate to see if these things move through the system, eBay, and what prices they're getting. And that's how we'll end this section here. So tennis is a sport with a long and fascinating history that dates back hundreds of years. The origins of tennis can be traced back to the medieval times when a game called real tennis was played in France. Real tennis was played indoors by royalty and nobility and involved hitting the ball with the hand against the wall. Over time, the game evolved and rackets were introduced to hit the ball. In the 19th century, modern tennis as we know it began to take shape. Major developments in the sport included standardization of rules and the establishment of first tennis clubs. In 1877, the first Wimbledon Championship, one of the most prestigious tennis tournaments in the world, was held in England. This marked a significant milestone in the history of tennis. As the sport gained popularity, it spread to other countries, and international competitions were organized. Today, tennis is played at both amateur and professional levels, and it continues to captivate people of all ages around the world in its thrilling matches, and iconic players like Serena Williams and Roger Federer. Tennis postcards are a delightful way to celebrate the sport of tennis and capture its essence in a visual form. These postcards typically feature vibrant images that showcase the energy, elegance, and excitement of tennis matches, from picturesque tennis courts nestled among lush greenery to action shots of players serving, volleying, hitting the ball back and forth across the net. They have a special word, volleying, for that. They volley. Or diving for a shot. Tennis postcards offer a glimpse into the world of this thrilling sport. Whether you're a tennis enthusiast, a collector, or simply looking for a unique way to share your love of the game, tennis postcards provide a wonderful means of communication. They can be sent to fellow tennis fans as a thoughtful gesture or displayed as decorative pieces. Collectibles, adding a touch of sporty flair to any space. With their vivid colors and captivating imagery, tennis postcards bring the spirit of tennis to life and allow you to share a passion for games with others. Here's a couple facts on tennis. Tennis balls were originally white, with modern tennis balls are predominantly yellow. It may come as a surprise that tennis balls were initially white. In the early days of tennis, white balls were used, but they proved difficult to see on the grass courts. As a result, the color was changed to a more visible shade of yellow in the 1970s. Today, yellow tennis balls are the standard, making it easier for players and spectators to follow the action. The game of tennis was originally called lawn tennis, and it was also called that other name, real tennis. When tennis was first introduced in the 19th century, referred to as lawn tennis to distinguish it from other forms of the game, like real tennis. The term lawn emphasized the sport was played on grass courts. As tennis gained popularity and spread to different surfaces, such as clay and hard courts, the term lawn was dropped. The sport became universally known as tennis. Despite the name change, grass courts continue to be associated with the prestigious Wimbledon Championship, which is the oldest tournament in the world. So that was a little foundation on tennis. The volleying of the ball back and forth, what they were named, real tennis, lawn tennis, white balls, yellow balls, and some history. So you have an idea, if you're not a tennis thing, is about all I'm going to absorb is what's in that paragraph. Is I'm going to look for tennis postcards. And sport people can be radical and very passionate about their sport, so they're going to collect a lot of different things, play in a lot of different places, so postcards is a good thing. But let's see if they sell. So the first thing you want to do is see if cards move through the system, not price. Just see if they're moving through the eBay system. And how I gauge that is with sell-through rate. And here's the little chart I usually put up. The red you want to stay away from. 0 to 3 is low, 4 to 7 is average, the 8 to 10 is a little bit better than average, and then 11 plus is the very high. Those are the outliers. This is just a guideline. Doesn't guarantee you a sale, but it gives you a better chance when looking at postcards to sell ones over the other. How I calculate it, I go into eBay, I type in postcard tennis. I get the sold, I get the listed, I times it by 100, I get a percent. I round it up or down. Nice even percent. People like that. Makes it easier to look at and gauge. It's 413 cards sold for tennis in the last 90 days. 5,600 listed out there with tennis in the title. Could be other ones, but they're not putting keyword in the title. 7% sell-through rate. If you look at the gauge, it's right on the top end of average, almost high. So it's on the higher end of average cards. Most sports go in that category there. They get into the higher end of average or high. So sports cards there. And with the ones I didn't capture without it in the title, it might even be higher. I think tennis is going to be at the higher end of average. Just for sure. I did some other sports. Ping pong. Postcard ping pong. Not a lot out there. So if you get ping pong postcards, get them up. 24%. Disney's 22. Ping pong's 24. Wrestling. Only 180 out there. 14%. Wrestling's like NASCAR. People are very loyal to their fans. Especially the older wrestling. I always try to get those. I pay up on them sometimes too. I think I sold one a couple months ago for like $25. I paid a nickel for it. It was an exhibit card, arcade card, not a postcard. But I always try to pick those up. And postcard tennis, 7%. And then pickleball, which is a new thing in the last few years. My wife plays it. She goes to the gym. And over there, she goes out and plays outside. She has a whole group of people they play with. And it's really picking up in the area a lot. 0 sold, 4 listed. So it's not a lot of pickleballs out there because it just started getting attention in the last few years. 0%. So that's a new thing. So if you find pickleball postcards, you could be on the beginning of new ones if they make them. Most of it's going to be social media. But I just wanted to put that there, that that's a new sport that's really taken off. So 7%, not bad. Get them for a good price, flip them, do well. Especially older tennis clubs. But what are the prices? I found some really high ones out here. This one is Roger Federer. He's a star in the sport there, and it's signed, slabbed. This is a graded one, $200 they got for that. Next one is anthropomorphic. It's an animal acting like humans, $42. Cats playing tennis, $42. Probably one of the higher anthropomorphic ones I've seen lately. And then you got a tennis court in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, 1940s, linen. That's a linen card, and it's sold for $31.49. Tennis. Tennis, anyone? So those are your extreme high price ones that I found out there. These people, I don't think lucked out. I think they got a good deal on these cards. What about the average cards that we see all the time out there? These are the world that I live in. Here's one here. Early 1900s lawn tennis balls. Serpent Champion advertising. So it's an advertisement, I think, for balls, tennis balls. $20. Then you got State of Nebraska Women Holding Tennis Racket. Postcard unposted embossed around 1910. $16. And then here's a tennis court. Valparaiso, Indiana and grounds, Valparaiso, Florida. Linen, another linen, $13. I would say $14 to $18 around there, $20 on the higher end of the average cards if you spell it out right and get tennis in the keywords. Not too bad. These cards aren't looking too bad. Then you got your low ones, your $1, $2.98, and $2.95. We just noticed they're in the $8 range. I'll leave it at that. I can't sell cards for that price. It's not worth it. So tennis, the little yellow balls, they bounce back and forth across the net on cards. Check them out. Look for tennis courts, tennis clubs. Look for the older ones. It's been out there forever. Don't pass them up. If you see it in there, get tennis in the title. So people looking for tennis can find them. You don't have to put a big long string. Just put in there Kirkland Motel, Omaha, Nebraska, tennis courts. And tennis is in there, and they'll find it. That's how keywords work. You put them at the beginning, put them at the end. It's going to find it. When I do these searches, I see them all over the place. That's tennis. Who knew? Now for the poll, this one was, I get a lot of questions about this. People overpack, they underpack, and then they blame the post office for everything. Things are going to happen. Things are going to get wet. Whenever humans are involved, there's always things going to happen. But you can't bank your business on 1 out of 10,000 things that happen just at one time, is how I see it. They pay, I ship. That's it. I don't look at their feedback, whatever. They paid, I ship. I make it very simple for me. And then I'll deal with the returns or whatever happens, if it does happen. But I don't look at all that stuff. They pay, they bought a card, I ship. So this question I put out there again. Have you had a postcard envelope you mailed damaged by the post office, USPS, United States Post Office Service? I just put two things, machine or carrier. 25% said yes, by a machine. 4% by a carrier. 63% said no. And 9% other. Still, the chances of your card being messed up, if you put it in a right size envelope where they don't have to bend it to put it in a mailbox, something like this for a standard envelope, not in a real big and all taped up in a box and all this other stuff. I'm talking about envelopes, basically sending stuff through. 63% of the people said no. I can't remember the last time I had a damaged postcard. Thousands and thousands ago. Very rarely happens. If it does, I just deal with it. I've only had, 5 or 6 returns this year? It's not even a percent, 0.5% or 1/4% of my sales. So I don't dwell on it. When I get one, oh well. If it's damaged or not delivered, you can get your money back. You can try to send a claim in and get your money back on eBay standard envelope. Can't do that with Ground Advantage or Priority. You got to go through the post office to do all that. The other one's pretty simple with eBay standard insurance. 2 comments came out on this. Jungle Man said, I had one delivered to my buyer that was soaked from rain. She said, thank God you had it in a plastic sleeve. I always put them in a brand new sleeve. Even though it has a little bit on the end open, a lot of times it'll save stuff like this, or it would not have survived. It was a postcard of Maui. We just talked about Hawaii. We met that goal this year. That's an important memento to someone. So she was excited. But just by taking that little less than a penny protection and putting it in an envelope, saved that whole conversation. You won on that one. Thanks, Jungle Man. And Karen, longtime member, says, only one in all the cards sold. 100-year flood. Why dwell on it? Buyer sent a photo that clearly showed the envelope had been caught in a sorter and torn the card. Yeah. That's usually what I get pictures of from people. Not often, though. It would have been torn if it had been in any kind of envelope. Yeah, usually when those machines get a hold of it, it's going to chew it up. No matter what it is. You can put it in an armored box and probably run over it or something. Once out of 10,000 cards. Don't dwell on all the little things. Worry about stuff like that when you're paying. Just they pay, you ship. I ship in 1 or 2 days. Mostly one day, the next day. Sometimes I do it the same day if it's early in the morning and it comes in. Or if I'm going out, I got to check the P.O. box, I'll do another run. I'll bring them to the post office. I always check, especially when the holidays coming up. I will start doing 2 days, 2 times a day. I'll put them out in the mailbox in the morning, and then if I have any sold, I'll check about 2 or 3, and then I'll run them over to the mailbox. I just want to get them into the system. That's the biggest thing during the holidays, and that's worked out well for me. I used to do it with packages. When I'd have 20, 30 packages going out in the morning, and then I'd have another 20 in the afternoon, I'd run them to the post office and just get them into the system, so it can get moving through the system. And I ship 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. I would ship Sunday too if I could, because I just want to get it into the system. If you don't ship on Saturday and you did it Friday morning, that's got to go through Saturday, Sunday, and then they pick it up sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's almost a week before they get it, where if you ship it on Saturday, it still moves through the system Sunday, Monday. They get it Tuesday or Wednesday a lot of times, and it's not waiting as long. So I always, if they want to stay up on Sundays, I'd do it too. I don't drop them off in the blue box on Sundays. They sit here until they get picked up on Monday morning. That's the poll. Make sure you subscribe. That way you get these. Hit the little bell notification icon, and when they come out in the community tab, you'll see all that stuff. And I think you can subscribe right over here in the corner. Just click on that, hit yes. Doesn't cost you anything, turns things on for the channel, helps us out. That's the easiest free way to help the channel, is to subscribe. And then you can be notified of stuff, and it helps the channel immensely. We've grown a lot over the last year, and I want to continue to keep growing so we get more people coming in and sharing what they do. Viewer comments come from YouTube, email, or wherever I get them. If you put them in YouTube, I consider them public. I can use your name out there. If you want to send me a message, you can send it to contact@SMPostcards.com. And then it's more one-on-one. So I think I've gotten back to everybody. If I haven't got back to you, send it again. But I'm pretty sure I have a whole different system that does it just for YouTube and eBay. Everything goes there, not my personal. Contact@SMPostcards.com. 3 views, comments. First one's from Margaret. Mark, I have a question for you, or anyone listing postcards on eBay right now. Now I've heard this 3 times now. If you hear something 3 times from 3 different people, it's probably true. I haven't seen it. Is anyone having a problem with all the recommended listing info coming up? If I list from my phone, error, country, brand, and all that is still there, but on my desktop and my laptop, they are not. So I heard this from Adam from Pittsburgh Pictures. He asked me, and he called eBay. And I think I mentioned in another video, some of the item specifics that he usually put in, like subject and stuff, is gone. He'll put something there and then it's gone. And he asked me if I saw it. I did it on Chrome, I did it on Edge, and Safari, and I didn't see what Adam was seeing. Not that I think you're crazy, Adam, but I do, but in a different way. So he called eBay, and eBay said, yeah, we're getting rid of a subject because no one's using it. But for me, it's still there. Well, then another person come in, told me the same thing, and now Margaret said the same thing. So I've heard it 3 times, but I haven't seen it. Are you guys seeing that as well, that different things are missing in your templates or when you go to list a postcard? If so, send me a screen print, and I'll maybe put it on a community tab or something, what people are seeing. But I haven't seen it. I believe what you're telling me, but I haven't had my problem here, so I don't know how they're rolling this out. Now, when YouTube rolls stuff out, they do it in steps, the different groups of people. They don't load it all at once. So maybe eBay's taking that and doing it, hitting this batch of people, then next day to hit this batch. It's just a theory. Or it could be something, I have a newer load, or I didn't update, or whatever. You never know. But it usually, in the end, we'll all get the same thing. But I haven't seen it. Thanks, Margaret. Keep us updated. Then Ashley, longtime viewer, a good buyer from the Ko-Fi store. I appreciate everything, Ashley. Says, Mark's Ko-Fi store has the best prices on postcard sleeves. Not a paid endorsement. I don't pay Ashley, she's saying. Yeah, Ashley's bought a lot of sleeves from me. And I keep the sleeve, just to give you a price on how it works, Ko-Fi, and I'll put the link down here, a little QR code, you can go to it. It's just a little shop, not eBay. And the overhead is very low on it because the fees and stuff are just nothing really. And so it's a place for sellers to go to get stuff we use cheap. I don't make a lot of money. Everything I've made in Ko-Fi, ever since I started it, has went back into the channel or Ko-Fi. Most of it this year went into Ko-Fi to bring the inventory up. But standard postcard sleeves are $3.75 regular price plus shipping. So you buy a pack of 100 sleeves for $3.75. Now, if you become a member of Ko-Fi, there's a membership where it charges you. There's 3 levels: chrome, linen, divided white border, and divided back is what I named them. Postcards, right? $1, I think, $2, $3, $4, or something like that. Very cheap. It hits the PayPal every month. So if you go in and do white border and become a monthly member at $3, you get 40% off of anything in that Ko-Fi store. So if you bought a pack of sleeves for $3.75, and you're a member, and you paid that $3 that month, you get the sleeves for $2.25, 40% off, plus shipping. So that's what it does. And if Ko-Fi just breaks even, I'm happy. It's easy to do. I just have the sleeves here. I put them in a box. I ship them to you. Shipping's a little weird on Ko-Fi. I don't ship international, but if someone wants to make a deal, work something out, just contact me through the email. But because there's really no way to exclude things in there. But if there's any excessive shipping, I refund. I don't make any money on shipping on Ko-Fi at all. So if it's excessive, usually over $2, I'll refund it. But I try to get them out as soon as possible because resellers want them. But it's a deal for the sellers. Just another thing to bring people in. And I do put some stuff, post stuff over there, here and there. But I got a lot of free stuff too. A lot of scanner settings, the sell-through rate document. I also have digital downloads. That's why I use it. It's a perfect place for all that. So check it out. Thanks, Ashley. My Picture Postcards. That's a cool name. Easy to understand. My Picture Postcards. Oh my God. You gave me a good laugh today. I read this message. I was cracking up too. I forgot I said that. Comparing the missions to the Borg. Keep it up. Anybody that's not a Star Trek fan, the Borg is an alien race that assimilates other races to grow their technology and their knowledge. And the Star Trek, they got, fighting the Borg and stuff like that. And so they say assimilation is futile. And I must have said that in the missions video. Things just come out. I probably edit out more than I should. I should just leave them in there. Things just pop in this little mind that popped up. But I'm glad you got a giggle out of that one. I also love how you explain the use of channel while listing. Yeah, I will bring some up on YouTube. I can look over my monitor here and see my TV. A lot of times I'll bring up the History Channel or a YouTube channel once a week, put stuff out. It's a half hour, 45 minutes long. I'll just bring it up and listen to it, and I'll raise my head every once in a while when something catches my ear. And that's how I kind of gear these, because we're heads down listing postcards. You can put it on, and I try to read everything so you don't have to lift your head up all the time. That's one of the things I think about when I do the channel. So I'm always looking at stuff like that, and that's how I figure I'd gear the channel too. And having a good balance in your goals. Yeah, you don't want them too hard, too high. You don't want to stress out. Start slow, small, medium, and just keep going. If you're shooting for the moon the first month, you're not going to get off Earth. Baby steps, one step at a time. Just break it down to things that you can work on. This month, coming up, end of the year, I'm going to push subscribing again. I did it back in May. It really helped the channel. So you're going to see a lot of things about me talking about subscribing for the channel. The month after that, maybe I'll talk about Ko-Fi again. After that, maybe I'll hit on envelopes again. After that, maybe I'll hit on buying postcards, stuff like that, or different things. So I pick one thing and just become better at it and stuff like that. Great examples for others. Thank you. There is more to life than postcards. Yes, there's a whole nother life out there. Just make it a part of your life. Don't make it your whole life. Reselling doesn't have to be your whole life. Even if you're full-time, you got to take a break. A lot of people say, I'm burned out. Well, you're 30 years old, I told them. What are you going to, and you're doing this full-time, what are you going to do for the next 40, 50 years? If you can't handle it now at 30 years old, you're sure in the heck ain't going to handle it at 60. And I can tell you that for sure. This year, I squeezed mine down because I don't want to carry that load anymore. I had a lot of fun doing the toys and stuff like that, but I don't need it. I'm at a point in my life where I just wanted to slow down and have a little bit more time. Plus, I found out I can't do as much as I used to do. You get a little tired a little bit more. Things hurt more, too. Places you never thought would hurt. I'm going to jot down my 3 goals for the rest of the year and get to listing while learning more about the California missions. You got to have goals, no matter what. You're probably setting goals you don't even know. You wake up and you say, I'm going to mow the lawn today. That's a goal. So you just, in your resale place, you don't want to try to do everything you can. And that's why I went down to just eBay. Just focus on that. I'm not into cross-selling and not have that overhead. You got to keep your overhead. So going into next year, 2024, like my picture postcards, thank you for your comment. And look for more little innuendos, I guess. I'll try to put out there. I won't cut them out all the time. Going into 2024, pick your goal. So you want to think about 2024, and you should track your numbers to your goal, but don't do it every day. Do it like every month. I look at my goals every month. Even though I do this video, I can see where I'm going to be. Hope everybody enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe. Here's some more fish. Bye.